Husband.
Yes, wife.
Let's read the Bible.
Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse?
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. Hey, starting with Genesis and eventually ending with Revelation, we're working through every book and offering our atheist 2 cents.
We aren't academics or scholars.
Nope. In fact, neither of us was raised in Christian homes, so when it comes to religion, we really don't know anything at all.
The only thing we do know is that God is a dick. If you're interested in how we reached this shocking conclusion, start from episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in anywhere. It's all good.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey, wife.
Yes, husband?
Tell me about Anchor.
The only thing I know is that Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place.
That's right. Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
You make it sound so easy.
It is. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast to listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, CastBox, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you like to listen.
How much are we paying for this awesome service?
Absolutely nothing.
Free and easy. That's awesome.
Yep. Just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Husband.
Wife.
It's a Q&A.
It sure the fuck is.
So, do you know what I'm talking about today?
Samuel. Duh.
No, I'm not really talking about Samuel.
You're not really talking about Samuel?
No.
What are you talking about?
I'm not interested in him.
No. Okay.
He's boring.
Okay.
I am interested in a thing called emerods.
Emerods?
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
I don't even remember this. Should I remember this?
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
All right.
And Ashtoreth.
I remember Ashtoreth.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into this.
All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about emerods first.
Emerods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me pull you back in a ways.
Sure.
Do you remember in chapter I think it was 6 with the mice, the gold mice and the gold tumors?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's where we're going with this.
Okay.
Okay. Those tumors in other Bible translations, like not the one that we're reading,
Okay.
they were actually referred to as emerods.
Okay.
Which is another word for hemorrhoids.
Oh.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, that changes things.
Right.
The word emerod comes from the words to swell, and in another language I can't remember right now, mound. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
aren't hemorrhoids on like the
butt?
The butt. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm getting to.
They died of this shit.
They did.
Jesus.
There's
fucking deathly hemorrhoids.
There's a part that says they had emerods in their secret parts.
Oh God.
Yeah. So here are other words besides tumors.
So there's good things about reading the fucking tame version.
Yeah. Tumors, boils, hemorrhoids, or swollen lymph nodes even.
Yummy.
Okay. And the swollen lymph nodes would have been a symptom of the bubonic plague.
Oh.
Which was transmitted by animals such as the mice or rats.
Interesting.
That were in the land of the Philistines.
So it was a reference to the bubonic plague then.
That's what many researchers believe.
Huh.
Yeah. And there's a question, like in some translations it says rats, in others it says mice.
Got it.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the bubonic plague would have been delivered by mice.
And if I'm not mistaken, the bubonic plague had nothing, in fact, zero to do with God.
I mean, it went wherever the ark went, but that could have been because the people delivering it carried the rats or mice with them.
Yeah. It's a fucking disease.
Yeah.
That was spreadable, that you could spread.
Exactly. So that's emerods. Okay. I thought that was like, I couldn't pass that up.
Right.
Okay, so, bloody buttholes. Got it.
That's really fucking disgusting.
I know. Could you imagine if you had a plague of that and your neighbors start complaining
that
of
would be one fucked up town. Like the things. Oh.
Oof.
Nope.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is Ashtoreth.
Ashtoreth. Okay.
Yep. I don't know if you recall, but she was a goddess along with Baal that was being worshipped.
Wasn't she like the mother of all gods?
The mother goddess. Yep. In one myth, she is the goddess of the sea and of fishermen and the wife of the god Baal.
Okay.
And she's also been referred to as the Queen of Heaven.
Okay.
And she is thought to have been a fertile source of life.
Got it.
However, much like Baal, it's also the term Ashtoreth is also a generic term. So you know how we have like capital G God, but then we have lowercase g little gods, right? Just gods in general. And then we have capital B with the emphasis Baal, meaning that one guy. And then we have other, when we refer to they had Baal, like lowercase guy.
Yeah.
Ashtoreth is the same way. And they were a generic term. They were often used together with Baal since, they were thought to be married.
Sure.
And it was a collective term for illicit worship.
Illicit worship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Illicit being like underground, like secret, like an illicit love affair is a secret one that nobody's supposed to know about because it's on the DL because there's something wrong with it.
So these were underground gods? They were like counterculture gods?
Yeah, basically. Now, Ashtoreth was worshipped in so many different cultures that as it traveled from one cult to another, her name changed.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm going to go over some of her names and attributes.
Sure.
Because we may bump into some of them again.
Okay.
Because she was like hot shit in the area at the time.
Okay.
Sometimes it was thought that she had alter egos, like different aspects of the same goddess.
Okay.
And other times it was just a completely different goddess altogether. And sometimes it was just her, but in a different location. So the same goddess with a different name.
Sure. Okay. Yep.
Some of the names were Anath, Astarte, Ishtar, Athtar, and Tanith. Yeah.
I've heard of Tanith before, I think.
I think you might be confusing it with Tanis.
Okay.
Which...
Oh, yeah, because we just watched that.
Because we just watched Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's probably
and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they mentioned the lost city of Tanis.
No, you're probably right. Yeah.
So, but I made that same connection, and I wonder if there is a connection between Tanis and Tanith. Who knows? Yeah. Who could know? I could be pulling that right out of my ass.
I'm sure we probably are.
So the Phoenicians, they worshipped Astarte.
Okay.
And the women were obliged to sacrifice either their hair or their chastity. Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
I mean, it makes sense because she was the mother and she was considered a fertility goddess by many of them.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
The Greeks referred to her as Astarte. Okay. And people would make these treks. Like all women were compelled at least once in their life to go visit one of these idols. Similar to how I believe what religion is Mecca?
That would be Muslim.
Muslim.
Yeah.
Like they are compelled sometime once in their life to go visit Mecca.
Right.
So that's how you can think of that in modern terms.
Sure.
Compelled in quotes.
Right.
Okay. In Babylonia and Assyria, the Akkadians called her Ishtar, and that's the name today that we are all most familiar with.
Okay.
And she was the goddess of sexual love and of fertility and the mother of gods and men.
Okay.
So that's what we think of today. And her name is used in pop culture, movies and books and songs.
I'm just curious real quick. So you said that she was in Greece. Was she a precursor to some sort of Greek Roman god type thing?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wouldn't doubt it a bit.
Right. Okay.
Particularly because of what I'll get into in a minute.
Got it.
Further on.
Okay.
In Arabia, she was known as Athtar. And in that area, there were her switching into a man, like there was this, she was both at once. And then in another place that I'll get to in a minute, she was a he. She was turned into a male deity.
Huh.
But she was in Arabia, she was simultaneously masculine and feminine, and she was the father and mother of mankind.
Interesting.
Still referred to as the god or goddess of fertility.
Right.
Okay.
In
southern Arabia, he was referred to as Astar.
Okay.
And this I found so interesting. Many features of his worship still survive in the rites of the Abyssinian church today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And is that a Christian church, or what is that?
I am not familiar. I did not look it up. I can get back to you on that.
Okay.
Because it's in southern Arabia, I wasn't really...
Sure. But regardless, this God that we're learning about is still worshipped to this day. To this day.
Yes. That was the interesting part. For real this time. Yeah. And in North Africa, she was referred to as Tanith and was worshipped with, quote, obscene rites.
Obscene rites.
I can only imagine what that might be. I'm sure it involved sex.
Yeah.
I mean, what's more obscene than sex?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Various animals were sacrificed to her.
Seemed like pretty standard back in that time.
Yeah. And so she was different animals sacrificed in different places, and I didn't go into like which animals where.
They probably, it's probably like any other god. They probably had to splatter some here, splatter some there.
Whatever animals were available or local to the area was going to be what was called for. Obviously, like you're not going to call for a kangaroo in the Americas, right? Right. That would be dumb.
Yep.
So in some places, she was identified with the sun and the morning star.
Okay.
And at Mecca and in Assyria, she was associated with Venus.
Okay.
And with the Phoenicians, she was associated with the moon.
Okay.
So
interesting.
That's why I said that she was probably a precursor to some of the Greek and Roman.
Sure. Yeah, well, I think there's even some call to say that the Bible God and Jesus and different things like that are based on some,
pagan
rites as far as like, solar and moon type stuff.
Of course, we've got into that before.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all the same shit back then. It just wrapped up in different packages.
Different day and different location and different name.
It's just this one evolved and kept evolving through the thousands of years to what it is now.
And it's completely unrecognizable and has nothing to do with what it was started as.
Well, yeah, I think the Catholic Church probably bastardized this whole thing.
Then the Christians took it one step further.
Right. I mean, it's been twisted into whatever people want it to be in any given time.
Exactly. So that is all I have for you today. And tomorrow we will be doing our weekly replay.
Yeah. All right. Sounds great. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.
Husband, it's the end. Tell the people where they can contact us.
You can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. We're also really active on Twitter. Our handle is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh, again? Okay, anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
But if you really want to get our attention, Twitter's where we're at.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Don't forget to support us on Patreon.
Yeah, every couple of weeks, we'll cover something in the news, a current event, or something we feel strongly needs to be discussed. And only Patreon subscribers get to hear our discussion.
That's right. It's all for our Patreon members as a thank you for their support. Join now for as little as $2 a month to get all of our extra content.
Go to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon.
That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.